Friends, welcome back to the online classes. Hope you all are keeping well. Please be inside, protect yourself. I believe you have gone through the chapter, the 100 Dresses Part 1. Half of the chapter I had finished explaining. Today, let us continue with the chapter, rest of the half. Till now, we had seen that how Peggy and Maddie, they both used to make fun of Wanda. Wanda was an ordinary girl. She was very simple, quiet girl, sitting always at the last bench, doing her own business. She never interfered in others' matters. But Peggy, she was brilliant student. Everybody loved her. Everybody liked her, even the teachers and students. She and Mary, both of them used to sit in front. Peggy used to make fun of Wanda, asking about her dresses, how many dresses you have, how many shoes you have, other things. Because Wanda always wore one blue dress every day to the school. She never ironed that dress. The dress was not so tidy, and that's the reason that Peggy always pulled her leg. Peggy and Maddie both used to wait outside the school early in the morning when waiting for Wanda, that when she comes, then they start making fun of her. Sometimes even after the school, they wait till she comes out. But she never, Wanda never, what do you call, shouted at them or said anything back to them. She used to just keep quiet. She used to just look down and walk back to her home alone. She had no friends because she never spoke to anybody. When Peggy used to ask that how many dresses you have, she used to say that I have got 100 dresses. She never wanted to give her up. No, she never wanted to make Peggy feel that she is great. So she also wanted to prove that she is also good enough. So she used to say that she has got 100 dresses. All are in a closet. All are made of linen, even velvet I have got. So they used to make fun of her that if you have 100 dresses, then why you wear only one dress. So that was it. Liked it. Even when she see other girls or other boys who are hurting their co-students or juniors, she used to shout at them, scold them. She never used to feel that she has that it is right or not, but she never hurt others. That was the plus point of Peggy. Of course she used to make fun of them, but this was the plus point of her. Whereas Maddie was never, she never liked it that Peggy making fun of it, but she had no other choice because she also was belonging to the poor family, not exactly so poor, but okay, we can say. She had dresses, the dresses worn by others. Okay, those dresses means you can say second hand dresses she used to have, and she used to wear that. And most of the dresses were of Peggy because Maddie's mother used to work in Peggy's house, and that's the reason that she used to get almost all Peggy's dresses for her own daughter, that is Maddie. So this was the short summary what we had studied previously. Let us start the rest of the portion. Listen carefully. Today, even though they had been late to school, Maddie was glad she had not had to make fun of Wanda. She worked her arithmetic problems absent mindedly. 8 times 8, let's see. She wished she had the nerve to write Peggy a note because she knew addresses she has. When she finished her arithmetic, she did start a note to Peggy. Now, what do you call Medi, after the school when she was at home, she was just thinking that what do you call to ask Peggy not to what do you call make fun of Wanda, not to ask, but she did not have the courage to speak to Peggy on the face, looking in her eyes and say these words. She did not have that much courage. So she thought that she would write a note and give it to Peggy. But still, there was little kind of a no doubt in her mind that this will work out or not. Things were there. So she finished her work and all, and then she sat to write the note asking about it. Suddenly she paused and shuddered. She pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and the girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on, and Maddie would have to say it was one of Peggy's old ones that Maddie's mother had tried to disguise with new trimmings. So new trimmings. So no one in room 13. All of a sudden, she stopped. She got kind of a fear in her nerves. She found that she is standing in the yard in one of the corner of the room or corner of a ground, and Peggy and other girls, what you call covering her, and Peggy asking that now you tell me whose dress you are wearing, and she had to answer the question, say that it is Peggy's, and then all the girls will making fun of her because her mother, Maddie's mother, used to get these dresses of Peggy, and she used to do little altering. She used to do some changes in the dresses so that no one could recognize it in one sight. They could not say by seeing itself. They cannot say that it is Peggy. So that much changes Maddie's mother used to make. So in the room 13, nobody could recognize exactly. If only Peggy would decide of her own accord to stop having fun with Wanda. Oh, well, Maddie ran her hand through her short blonde hair as though to push the uncomfortable thoughts away. What difference did it make? Slowly, Maddie tore into bits the notes she had started. She was Peggy's best friend, and Peggy was the best liked girl in the whole room. Peggy could not possibly do anything that was really wrong, she thought. Now, no, she, Maddie, just was thinking that Peggy would decide of her to when to stop making fun of Wanda. Why should I disturb myself and try to push on because she is my best friend, and if I say something to her, then she may break this friendship. So it is better that I stop. No, better I don't say anything to her. Let it go on. Whenever she feel like, she will stop by herself. She will think about it. So she just pushed off the thought of writing note, and she tore the note into pieces of into pieces. As for Wanda, She was just some girl who lived up to Boggins Heights and stood alone in the school yard. She scarcely ever said anything to anybody. The only time she talked was in the schoolyard about her 100 dresses. Maddie remembered her telling about one of her dresses, pale blue with colored trimmings, and she remembered another that was brilliant jungle green with a red sash. You would look like a Christmas tree in that, the girls had said in pretended admiration. Now, Wanda, no, she was of her own kind, living in Boggins Heights, going alone to her home, coming back alone to school. She scarcely said anything to anybody, never spoke to anybody or said anything to anybody, never interfered in others' matter. The only time she talked was in the school. Wanda was telling that she has got a pale blue colored trimmings and a kind of a brilliant jungle green, red with red sash type of dress. And Maddie remembers that she had told Wanda that if you wear that dress, then she would look like a Christmas tree. So it was not that Wanda was not having dresses; she was having, but she was not wearing that. Thinking about Wanda and her 100 dresses, all lined up in the closet, Maddie began to wonder who was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. For girls, this contest consisted of designing dresses, and for boys, of designing motorboats. Probably Peggy would win the girls' medal. Peggy drew better than anyone else in the room. At least that's what everybody thought. She could copy a picture in in a magazine or some uh, star's head so that you could almost tell who it was. Oh, Maddie was sure Peggy would win. Well, tomorrow the teacher was going to announce the winners. Then they would know. Now, Maddie was lost in the thoughts of Wanda and her 100 dresses, which were lined up in the closet that Wanda had told her. Now, Maddie began to wandering and thinking best dresses to draw, and for the boys it was motorboats. They had to design a motorboat. Now, everybody knew that it is Peggy who is going to win this medal from the girls' side because she is the best, and even if they have no one has seen her drawing, but still all thought that she would because she is the one who can who could draw exactly things what she has seen, whether it is magazine or of a film star or whatever maybe. She used to make exactly, and people could easily recognize. So they know exactly, but still she said that tomorrow anyhow the teacher will announce the winner who would be. No, that was the Maddie's thoughts. The next day, it was drizzling. Maddie and Peggy hurried to school under Peggy's umbrella. Naturally, on a day like this, they didn't wait for Wanda Petrosky on the corner of Oliver Street, the street that far away under the railroad tracks and up the hill led to Boggins Heights. Anyway, they weren't taking chances on being late today because today was important. So the next day, it was drizzling. It was rainy day, not heavy rain, just drizzle. And Maddie and Peggy ran towards school under Peggy's umbrella. And that day, they did not wait for Wanda because it was an important day. Why? It was the result day of the drawing competition. So they did not wait for Wanda, because near that Oliver Street, from where this street goes upside. To know the result. So they did not wait for Wanda. Do you think Miss Mason will announce the pictures today? Asked winners today, asked Peggy. Oh, I hope so. The minute we get in, said Maddie. Of course, you will win, Peg. Hope so, said Peggy eagerly. So when they reached school, Peggy just asked to Maddie whether Miss Mason, their drawing teacher, would announce the winners today. And Maddie also said, of course, the moment we reach school or the moment she comes in the classroom, definitely she will announce. And we all know that it is you who is going to win. And Peggy said, I think so, hope so. The minute they entered the classroom, they stopped short and gasped. There were drawings all over the room, on every ledge and windowsill, dazzling colors and brilliant, lavish designs, all drawn on great sheets of wrapping paper. There must have been 100 of them, all lined up. These must be the drawings for the contest. They were, everybody stopped and whistled or murmured admiringly. Now, what happened when Peggy and Maddie got inside the classroom? The moment they got inside the classroom, was filled with drawings of different colors, different style, different types of dresses on the big drawing sheet. Everywhere, on the windowsill, on the window edge, on the door above, blackboard, everywhere. And they could make out that they all are in 100. Okay, all paintings are in 100. Dresses were all lined up. No? So they all were shocked. No? Everybody who was coming in that classroom, all the girls, boys, everybody started murmuring. Everybody started talking about it. Everybody, some people whistled. They just wanted to know who has drawn it. First, they thought that this is a choice may be given to draw the for the competition. So they all were surprised to see this. As soon as the class had assembled, Miss Mason announced the winners. Jack Beggles had won for the boys, she said, and his design for an outboard motor was on exhibition in room 12, along with the sketches by all the other boys. So, when the whole class came together, when everybody reached in the classroom, Miss Mason started announcing the winners. First, she announced from the boys' side, that it is Jack Beggles who has won, and his design is put on in the room 12 with other boys' sketches. As for the girls, she said, although room 13 should be proud of her. This one girl actually drew 100 designs, all different and all beautiful. In the opinion of the judges, any one of the drawings is worthy of winning the prize. I am very happy to say that Wanda Petronsky is the winner of the girls' medal. Now, Miss Mason said that from the girls' side, only one or two, every girl has drawn either one sketch or two sketches. but only one girl of the room 13, no, they should be proud of her. She says that only one girl drew 100 dresses. She just said that, imagine, only one girl had drawn 100 dresses, 100 designs, whereas other girls either one design or two designs they have made, and all of them are different from each other. They all are unique designs, and the judges said that each one is worth winning. They all the designs were worth winning, and she gave the name Wanda Petronsky. Now, hearing this, everybody shocked, especially Peggy and Maddie. They thought, how come? No, it is not that she said that she has 100 dresses. It is true. See there are so many dresses, 100 dresses she has made. The applause that is due to her. Let us hope she will be back tomorrow. Now, class, you may file around the room quietly and look at her exquisite drawings. Now, Miss Mason said that she is absent, Wanda is absent, and she is not here to take the applause, to be cheered. She has been absent for a few days. Hope she will be coming tomorrow. So let us, we will wait for her. So you can go around and see the drawings and appreciate it. The children burst into applause, and even the boys were glad to have a chance to stamp on the floor, but their fingers in their mouths and whistle, though they were not interested in dresses. Look, Peg, whispered Maddie. There's that blue one she told us about. Isn't it beautiful? Yes, said Peggy. And here's that green one, boy. And I thought I could draw. So everybody clapped, everybody started cherishing, making noise and all this, especially the boys, even though they were not interested in the dresses, but they were happy with the result. So they all went around and saw the dress, the blue dress, what she spoke about. And even Peggy remembered the green dress, what she had also heard from Wanda. So they both were surprised at how, what she was telling to them, that she has got 100 dresses. That was true because she has drawn the 100 dresses. Okay, students, I hope you have understood the story. Go through the story once again, read the beside that, please write the difficult words in your copy with the meanings, and question answers I will give tomorrow. Okay, till then, stay home, stay safe. God bless. Thank you.